Okay. So today we're going to be talking about gut health. Before I dive into all the goodness, both Jennifer and Ira, you guys are new to me. So hi, I'm Stacy. I'm a nutritionist. I have my bachelor's and master's in nutrition. I focus on gut health and healing your gut through real foods. I am a mom of a almost 2-year-old. He turns 2 actually on Saturday. I cannot believe that. Some hobbies that I enjoy. I'm a very active gardener, so I do like to grow food, vegetables, fruits. I do enjoy growing flowers too, lavender and calendula. I enjoy body movement, so different forms of exercising. I like lifting weights and yoga, going for walks. I am a sunshine junkie. So today it is in the 80s and sunny outside, which I love. I love listening to podcasts, reading books, although lately I've been listening to more audiobooks in the car. And then last but not least, I love to cook and I love to create recipes. So I usually get inspiration from maybe other recipes or other themes and then put my own kind of spin to it. So welcome you guys. Again, I'm Stacy. So what are we going to be going over today exactly? We're going to go over what the gut is. We're going to go over why it's so important. We're going to go over what could be damaging it. We're going to go over different nutrition and lifestyle support that we can use for our gut healing. Actually, okay, I have the chat up, so I see your message, Jennifer. I'm gonna record it and then I'll also email it out to you guys too. I should have your emails from your guys' registration. So if you have to hop off, that's okay. I'll continue and then I'll email it over to you guys after. So what do I mean by guts? And let me move this so you can see. The gut is a lot bigger. So usually when I'm talking to my clients, they think that I'm just talking about kind of your stomach and maybe your large and small intestine. Really, when we're talking about the gut, we're talking about the entire GI tract, which if you're looking right here, it starts with your mouth, goes through your esophagus, your stomach, your small and large intestine, and then out through your rectum. So those are all part of your gut or your GI tract. So when I'm saying we want a healthy gut, I'm really saying we want a healthy GI tract and we want really good digestive functioning is what I mean by a healthy gut. I also used the word gut microbiome earlier, and we're going to be talking about this a lot. So your gut microbiome is the ecosystem of microbes that live in your intestines. So these are a good balance of bacteria that live in your large and small intestines that help your body break down and absorb the nutrients that you eat. Any questions on what I mean by the gut? So today, when I say the gut, I want you to kind of picture this picture, if you will, and all the aspects to it. So we know what. Now we want to know why. Why is the gut so important? And especially right now, the gut has become a very popular topic, rightfully so. So I broke it down into 3 major components, and within those components are a lot of other little mechanisms. But 3 major reasons why we need to focus on having a healthy gut is 1, the gut is directly correlated with your immune system and your immune function. So your microbes, so your microbiome is really what directly correlates with it. So the immune response is what I'm talking about. So if we have an inflamed gut microbiome or gut lining, if our gut is inflamed, then the response, the immune response, that mechanism is not going to work as efficiently as it should. So this can mean that you are getting sick maybe a little bit more often. So I have some clients that I see that it really is that they catch everything, right? So they go out and they're catching every cold, every flu, and it's that immune response is not working efficiently. And it's because there's a lot of inflammation in the gut, or it could be because there's a lot of inflammation in the gut. Secondly, your gut and your brain are connected. And what I mean by this is the health of your gut directly correlates with your brain, and the health of your brain directly correlates with your gut. So it goes both ways. So if your intestines are troubled, or if they're inflamed, it can send messages to your brain, inflammatory messages. Same thing, vice versa. If your brain is in poor health, it'll send those signals down to your gut. So as a health professional, when I'm working with people, I don't just focus on the gut. Yes, it's really important, but also overall health of your body and mindset is really important too. You can't just focus on one system. You need to focus on everything as a whole, including your brain and your mindset and your mind health. Number 3, and this one's, I think, the most popular, is the gut and the metabolism, right? So your gut directly affects the way your body absorbs and uses the foods you eat. So when we think metabolism, we kind of think weight, right? We think if you have a slow metabolism, you have a harder time losing weight. If you have a fast metabolism, you have an easier time. And really, it's if you have a faster metabolism, your body is able to absorb your nutrients a lot more effectively than if you have a slower metabolism. So for your gut, if you have an inflamed gut, your metabolism is going to work a lot slower, which directly affects the way your body absorbs your nutrients. And it could go the other way. Sometimes your metabolism is working too fast, where you're absorbing your nutrients and it's going right out of you too. So you want to find that happy balance. Like I said, within those 3 categories, there's a lot more, but those are the 3 main points that I wanted to touch on today that I think the gut is very important. I mean, your immune response is very important. Brain connection, very important. The way you metabolize your nutrients is very important too. So now we know the why. What are we doing in our life or in our diet right now that might be affecting our gut health? So what damages our gut? And what I mean by what damages our gut, I want you to think physically. What is it doing to our gut lining? So poor nutrition. Poor nutrition is one of the top things that you could be doing right now that is damaging your gut. Refined ingredients, trans fats, and rancid oils. So if you're intaking these chronically, you're going to have an inflamed gut. What are these? Refined ingredients. So these are foods that are stripped of their nutrients. A really good example, and it's one of the most common one, is white flour. So white flour comes from wheat flour, right? And it's missing some of its nutrients. Most of it is a fibrous part. And when we're missing those fibrous nutrients, it becomes a lot harder for our body to digest it. So if you are looking to make switches, for example, for white flour, just go for a wheat flour, right? It has all the nutrient components to it that makes it easier for your body to break down. Trans fats. So trans fats are naturally occurring in our body, but when we have too much trans fats, it causes a lot of disruption. So trans fats, margarine or shortening are a really good example of trans fats. So you want to limit those as much as possible. Rancid oils. So some examples are canola oil, grapeseed, vegetable, and sunflower oil. It also depends on how they're manufactured. So sometimes sunflower or grapeseed could be okay. But so rancidity is the deterioration of fats and oils. So what that means is that these oils are exposed to too much oxygen, and the result is that there is a formation of free radicals. And that could be very inflammatory to your body. So you want to limit these as much as possible. We're going to talk about alternatives in future slides and how we can do that. Because you'll notice when you start doing this that these are in a lot of food products. Another component of poor nutrition, lack of vitamins and minerals. So if you're chronically not intaking those micronutrients, it's going to lead to malabsorption in the gut. That can lead to gut discomfort symptoms. A really good sign of malabsorption or micronutrient deficiencies is if after you eat, you're feeling really bloated or uncomfortable or kind of sick. Odds are your body's not able to absorb the foods that you just put in those nutrients, and it's really struggling. So that's one thing that you want to look at. Maybe start paying attention to the foods that you're eating and how you're responding to it afterwards. So for dehydration, everybody knows our body is made up of a lot of water, right? So water is needed for proper nutrient absorption and digestion. Water also assists in moving toxins through the digestive tract. So if you are dehydrated, you're going to have a really hard time eliminating toxins from your body, which could also cause inflammation in your digestive tract. A really good rule of thumb is to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. If you're really active, you can even increase that. But water is important for a lot of different functionings. It's even very important for cellular health. So if your cells are dehydrated, they're not going to be able to communicate. Your nerve function is not going to be able to work as efficiently. So increasing the water intake is a must. We'll go over some tips and tricks on how to do this because sometimes it's really hard for people, especially in the cooler months. Alcohol consumption and smoking. So these specifically, there's a lot of research that directly correlates them to leaky gut. So if you look at this picture right here, which I love, imagine this is your intestinal lining. You have a really pretty lining right there. You have good bacteria in there. When you have chronic overconsumption of alcohol or smoke, what happens is that beautiful gut barrier lining starts to kind of disintegrate, and there's little holes that become to appear along it. And the nutrients that you're getting in and should be absorbing through that gut lining is actually leaking through to your bloodstream, which is really dangerous. So leaky gut is a serious thing. There's a lot of other things that can lead to leaky gut, not just alcohol consumption and smoke. So if you don't do that, poor nutrition can still lead to that if you have had severe chronic poor nutrition. The research just shows that the overconsumption of alcohol and smoking has led to leaky gut. Toxic overload. I'm going to touch on this very briefly. So food additives and food colorings, not only in your food, but in your skin and hair products too. So if you are somebody who has been eating really clean and you're still experiencing maybe some discomfort and you haven't looked at your skin or hair products, that might be a good idea. So your skin is your largest organ, and everything that you put onto it absorbs. So if you have not looked at your products, like I said, go look at those ingredients. It's the same thing as the foods that you're eating and putting into your body. What we cook and store our food in is really important, especially if you're heating your food in what you're storing it in. If you're heating something in plastic, the chemicals from the plastics can leak into your food. So you want to be really careful about what you're storing your foods in. Chronic intake of antibiotic and NSAIDs. So NSAIDs are like Tylenol and ibuprofen. They could cause damage to the gut lining, also lead to the leaky gut, inflammation. So it's funny because that's a wrong word. It's really not funny, but NSAIDs are there to fight inflammation and get you out of pain. But what they turn around and lead to in the long run, when you're chronically intaking them, is inflammation and pain through your gut. So that's something you want to look for. That's why it's so important to find what is actually really happening, the root of the problem, and fixing it. Because if you're putting these band-aids on it, they're going to, in the long run, cause damage of their own too. Antibiotics, sometimes it's inevitable. I mean, if you're in surgery or anything like that, you just want to be aware. If you did chronically take antibiotics, there's a good chance that you may need a supplement with probiotics and replenish your gut. So something to think about. I talked about now what we could be doing to damage it. How can we heal it? So first and foremost, your diet. So through proper nutrients, we're going to avoid those refined ingredients, the white flours, white sugars, really anything that is refined. That might seem like a big task. So I say start with what you control, with what you do at home. And then when you feel comfortable with that, then you can expand out beyond that. We're going to avoid those trans fats, the margarines and shortenings. We're going to avoid rancid oils. And then we're going to enjoy ghee, grass-fed butters, coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, and high oleic sunflower oil. So if you're getting sunflower oil, get it in small amounts. If you are getting it, make sure it's high oleic. That's the way it was processed. If you are wanting to sweeten things or wanting to bake, you can enjoy honey, small amounts of the raw cane sugar, coconut sugar, and 100% pure maple syrups. Most of all, you want to enjoy real ingredients: vegetables, fruits, legumes, meats, poultry, and seafood. So what I tell people with this is don't assume food companies care about your health. Always look at your ingredients and your nutrition labels, even if it's a health food company, if you're buying packaged foods. Majority of your diet, you should be making from real foods. Of course, every now and then we're going to have those processed packaged foods, but you want to make sure the ingredients are as best options as possible. Now, one thing you also want to look at when you're healing your gut, do you have a need to replenish low nutrient storages? Have you chronically been either not intaking the nutrients, or have you been feeling the bloatiness after you're eating, or the discomfort after eating, and there's a really good chance that you're low in your nutrients, or that you took lab results and you can see in your blood work that you are deficient in these nutrients? We need to replenish those low nutrient storages. Some ones that I always have people start with: vitamin D. Your vitamin D level, you really want around 60 to 70 minimum. You really want to supplement with omegas. If you do not get in omegas in your diet, a good ratio of the omega-3s. If you're not intaking healthy fatty fishes or fatty foods, nuts, avocados, things like that, you need a supplement with an omega. And trace minerals. So these are those, like, you can get them in trace mineral salt. So at the grocery store, a really good example, pink Himalayan, but you can get Celtic salt. You could get Hawaiian red salt. Those contain different amounts of trace minerals that are really important in your diet. One of my favorite things, bone broth. Bone broth is so awesome and so important for healing your gut. Getting true bone broth, so not taking a bone broth supplement like a bone broth protein powder or something like that. Getting the true bone broth would be best. I mean, I take a bone broth protein supplement because it is a really good protein supplement, but you don't get all the nutrients you can like you do from the real bone broth. So bone broth is rich in amino acids. It also contains all the essential amino acids. It's really rich in collagen. It has all those nutrients that you need for healing your gut lining. So when we're going in and healing it, we also want to give it the nutrients it needs to rebuild the gut lining. So that's when those essential amino acids, the protein, and the collagen comes in place. So if you are starting a gut journey where you want to do some healing, give your gut what it needs to start that healing process. Proper hydration. So like I said, you want to get about half your body weight in ounces every day minimum. If you're really active, if you're breastfeeding, if you're pregnant, you might need to get some more in. But on top of that, if you're someone who drinks a lot of water and you're drinking a lot of water, but it's going right through you and you're going to the bathroom a lot, odds are you're not absorbing that water. So what you want to do is increase the trace minerals in your diet to help your body better absorb those waters. So those trace minerals will help at a cellular level rehydrate your cells too, so that they can absorb the water and nutrients. We want to avoid toxins. So like I said, we don't want to assume that the food companies are taking or have our health at their forefront, because they don't. So we want to check all ingredient labels. If you don't know what something is on an ingredient label, don't assume it's good for your body just because it's on a food item. You need to look it up, because sometimes it's not good for your body. So I included a nutrient label up here. Yes, you want to look at the nutrient facts, but you also want to hop over to this section right here. Make sure you read it. And like I said, if you don't know what's on it, Google it. A simple Google search is going to tell you everything you need to know about it. Common sources of toxins are processed foods, fast foods, even some health foods, and supplements. So that's why you want to look at that. Supplements specifically, there's no regulation really on the ingredients. So you really want to check your supplement ingredients. Additives. So this would be something on the ingredients that's added into your food to either help with freshness or with thickness. So Google it and it'll tell you why it's added into your food. Sometimes it's from a plant source and it's okay. Other times it's chemically made and it's really inflammatory to your body. If a label says known carcinogen, take it seriously. Chronic intake of these items are going to do damage not only to your gut, to your overall health. So those directly correlate with high inflammation in your body. And now we know that inflammation isn't just pain, right? Inflammation means that mechanisms in our body is not working as efficiently as they need to be. Remove toxic sources, fuel your body right, and we want to fix the damage, right? So like I said, some people come to me and they have been eating clean, right? But if your mechanisms are already not working, it doesn't matter if you're giving them good thing. You need to go in and clean up those mechanisms and clean up your gut. So a really good way to do that, testing your gut microbiome could give specific details of exactly what's going on. So I love this. A really good example is probiotics. People come, should I be on a probiotic? Probiotics are those bacteria strains, right? In theory, yes, it would seem like a good idea because we want good bacteria in our gut. But what happens if you're taking a probiotic that has a bacteria strain that you actually are already really high in your body, and then now it's so high that it's causing an inflammatory response or disruption of mechanisms? So that's one example of testing your microbiome. You can test specifically what bacteria strains am I low in and what am I really high in and what do I need to work on. It also tests, is there something deeper going on? Do I maybe have an infection? Is there a parasite? Do I have candida overgrowth? There's a lot of things that could be happening in your gut that don't show up on normal blood work unless you specifically test your gut. So a lot of times if you are trying everything under the sun and you're eating really clean and you're still having gut discomfort, it would be a good idea to get it tested to see exactly what's going on. It takes the guesswork and takes time out of your healing journey when you could see exactly what's going on. Lifestyle to support gut health. So like I said, it's not enough just for nutrition. You also need to back it up with a healthy lifestyle and a healthy mindset. So focusing on what you can control. I briefly said this, but it may seem overwhelming when you're starting this journey. And first off, we're working on progress, not perfection, but also you want to just focus on first what you can control, which usually is in your house setting. So focus there. If you, after today, realize I'm cooking in vegetable oil, when you finish your bottle of vegetable oil and you go to the grocery store, get a bottle of avocado oil. That is a great step in the right direction. So it doesn't have to be this overnight change. It could be small steps in the right direction in an environment where you can control. When you're eating out, you just want to be aware of what you're eating. Your body, when mechanisms are working correctly, can rid itself of toxins. So when you're intaking the toxins, your body has a natural mechanism to get rid of it, right? But when we're chronically intaking those toxins, that mechanism really gets overrun and it's not able to do its job efficiently anymore. So those toxins stay in your body. Staying active, body movement every day. Your body was made to move it, so move it. Even if you're just stretching and walking, even if you're dancing, doing yoga, whatever you want to do, you want to move your body. It is really, really good for gut function and digestive function and moving things through your digestive tract. And then positive mindset, like I said earlier, is directly correlated with your gut. So if you are someone who wakes up a little bit more on the pessimistic side, really focusing on your mindset can make a big difference. You can make daily goals. You could have affirmations. I love affirmations. You can say them to yourself. You can have them hanging up where you see them, but that's going to start changing that. It's going to start changing your mindset, which could also start sending positive changes to your gut. Okay, so let me make sure. I think that is my last slide. Yes. So with that being said, just to summarize, because I know I went over a lot and I talk a lot and I talk fast. So our gut is very important for our immune function, for our brain function, and for our metabolism, right? So we really want to focus on feeding our microbiome what it wants to thrive, which is those good whole foods, vegetables, fruits, and really limiting the refined ingredients. You also want to focus on not only just the foods that you're eating, but the lifestyle you're living. If you focused on nutrition and lifestyle and you're still experiencing gut discomfort, it would be a really good idea to test your gut microbiome. I use a test called GI Map through Diagnostic Solution. It's a really good map. It tells you a lot of things. And it could be a really good point, like I said, to take the guesswork out of it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I know that some of you guys are going to be watching this after the recording. So just make sure that if you do have questions, you can reach out to me. You could email me, text me, message me on social media platforms, whatever, wherever you found me on. And that way I can help you through your gut healing journey. But thank you so much, you guys, for hopping on. Thank you, Miss Ira, for sticking with me. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me too. You're welcome. I'm gonna send this recording out, so I should have the emails for those who signed up. I'll send it out after. And then I hope to help you guys on your gut health journey. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let me see if I can stop sharing my screen here. There we go. All right, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, Miss Ira.